Stephanie, can I just ask you from a financial perspective, because you are often the person who gives me advice on these things, to the extent that the president's tax returns are not just a prize, but are relevant to a potentially substantive investigation. As you were saying, Congresswoman, the Democrats shouldn't be out there saying, we're going to go get everything we can. They should be targeted and deliberate in what they're going after. If Congressman Neal, as chair Ways and Means, decides to get the president's tax returns, decides to fight that fight, what investigations, what potentially substantive matters are they relevant to? Obviously, there's the issue that, we used to have a norm that candidates disclose their taxes. He didn't. That's one thing. But what would they find in his taxes that would be relevant to real oversight?
So if we're actually looking at what the president is doing, especially as what Robert Mueller is looking into, the president loves to say, I never invested in Russia. Well, no one thought you did. The question was always, are you financed by Russian oligarchs?
Russia invest in you. Yeah.
President Trump never had any U.S. bank finance him. And so you've got to ask the question, well, who's putting that money up? So if we saw his taxes, we would know something like that. But to your exact point, Democrats have to be strategic. As they're calling for it right now, they're putting on a show because they certainly want to see it. But from the New York Times reporting, they reported extensively what they could for a year and a half. We could find out he's just extraordinarily cheap, fantastic at abusing loopholes, which is far beneath what our moral leaders should do. But Donald Trump will turn around and say, well, that's what makes me clever.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.